All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody today? I hope everybody is doing well. Here we are, Wednesday. Time's flying. Half the month is over already. It's just crazy how fast the time is going. Leaves are coming down. It's craziness. Absolute craziness. All right. So before we jump into anything, I would like to just remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here. So I just ask you to be decent and we'll have a good chat. We can go from there. So, all right. If you have any questions, so it stands out for me more, all cap locks. I do appreciate that as well. So, all right, so crazy stuff going on around the world. Holy cow. I'm just like, wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, but had a decent day here today. It was overcast a little bit. We're going to get into other stuff here in just a moment. But overcast a little bit. Got a little rain today as well. So we needed the rain. So I'm not going to complain about the rain because we're definitely down. We need more rain coming in, but these things happen. So, from what the information is being put out there, that Mossad, the arm of Israel, that you don't want to be on Mossad's radar because things don't end well if you are on Mossad's radar. For months, apparently, they had been putting explosives in. This is what is rumored to be going on. Okay, that they had put explosives into pagers, uh, handheld walkie-talkies, that type of thing. And yesterday, they exploded a tremendous amount of pagers in Lebanon, and I think it killed 12 people yesterday and wounded like 2,800. So I mean, significant damage was done, over there. Now we're going to talk about the international community. We're going to talk about some of our people in Congress and in what they had to say and all that good stuff here in a little bit. Which it we'll get into all of that. But anyway, so then today, like handheld walkie talkies, those exploded today as well, killing an additional, I think, 14 people today, I believe was what it was, and then injuring hundreds of others. So, uh, like I said, I wouldn't screw. See, I'm going to tell you what, guys, and I know there's like this huge hatred for some people for the Jews. All right, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's a huge difference between a Jew and an Israeli. Okay, and that's my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. I don't have a problem with either one of them, to be honest with you. All right, I have so much respect for Israel because they don't play. They are not screwing around. I mean, you got to admit this move, brilliant, brilliant. Now, collateral damage. Talk collateral damage, right? I think yesterday a 9-year-old was one of the people that died. It's always going to be collateral damage, but when you can screw up communications for your enemy, that's huge. And you put the fear of God into your enemy, that's also huge. And that's what is happening in that situation right now, because now they don't know, what are we going to do? How are we going to communicate? What else have these people done? Now, of course, there's outrage. There's always going to be outrage. I personally, like I said, I think that it's brilliant. It's brilliant on Israel's part. Like I said, Mossad is no joke, and I mean, what better way to really go after your enemies? I mean, like I said, it's absolutely brilliant in my opinion. And again, like I said, some of you may disagree, but when you are at war, yeah, who uses pagers anymore? Well, I guess JJ, they started using pagers because they didn't want Israel intercepting their communications. So, like from phones and stuff like that. So that's why they ended up starting to use the pagers. And then Israel said, "Oh, okay, you want to use pagers? Well, let's do this." And again, like I said, but it's wild to see the injustice of this. I mean, you really, if you like Israel or don't like Israel, you got to take your hat off to them on this, because this was a brilliant move, and it really screws them up, because now, I mean, what else is, or can you use something else? Is something else going to blow up on you? I mean, it is amazing. So we got 213 in the chat already. We have 71 thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It makes a huge difference with the algorithms as well. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon, and hit all notifications as well. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. So of course, the United States is denying any involvement in the situation. Of course, we have to, right? You have AOC and Bernie Sanders. He wants to, do a vote, to block Israel from getting any more weapons. Not going to happen. I don't. Again, giving you my opinion, I don't believe that would pass, because there's too much money into it. Big business, huge money with Israel as a client, and obviously Israel likes to use the weapons, so they need more. So that is, it's amazing to me, that these are the people that the international community, meaning Hezbollah and Hamas, that they're the victims now. Oh, they're the victims now. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Ed, what are your thoughts on the phone that use government, or people use a government phone? Luke, they're probably, I don't care what phone it is. Any phone can be hacked. They can listen to any conversations. I mean, how many times have people on here, and let me ask you this, because this has happened to me, um, having a conversation with somebody, not even on my phone, right? Just having a casual conversation and talking about XYZ product, right? And the next thing you know, what advertisement pops up on Facebook? You got it. XYZ product pops up on, Facebook. So, they can do whatever they want to do. And like I said, you look at all the murders and stuff that have been solved because they figured out where these people were. The one that comes to mind is a mom and a boyfriend killed the kids, buried them off into the woods. Well, they pinged the last ping area of that phone, and they went right there. And guess what? That's where the bodies were. So, and people don't think about that. They don't think, well, I better not take my phone or anything with me that could trace me to where I'm going to go, especially if you're doing something, heinous like that, I mean, but people don't think about that. It's like, a lot of times things are spur of the moment events, and and that's why, like I said, again, they're monitoring all of us. We passed that, guys, with the Patriot Act. We passed all of that. We allowed them to do that. So yeah, are they, I mean, you look at oh god, Snowden over there in Russia. I mean, he basically said, he gave all this information, and boy, were they pissed about that, right? So it's just Hamas is unusually hard to dispose of because of their tactics. Actually, a Google account. That's not. Israel was kicking their butts up and down the whole area of the Gaza Strip, and then they get to that last area, and then they just stopped, and it drags the war out. It just drags the war out, and that's what they want. They don't want these wars to end. You can't have these wars end too fast, because there's so much money to be made, and then you play the humanitarian aid card, and the whole it's all a big manipulation and a game. And it's exactly exactly what that is. Dennis Fetterman says, Patriot Act the day we all became domestic terrorists. Yeah, I mean, they have all kinds of things. If you have fingers missing, you can be labeled a domestic terrorist. If you have more than 2 weeks worth of food and water, you're a domestic terrorist. I mean, there's all this whole laundry list, that they had of what could possibly be a domestic terrorist, and just what, because you stocked up on food. To me, that's insanity. You know, heaven forbid that you're trying to make sure that your family's going to be okay. Why would we want to do that? So, but it's just, the situation over there. Israel's been attacked for how long? And if you guys remember, ever since the whole thing started with Hamas, Hezbollah has been exchanging gunfire with Israel that entire time as well. So it's not like all of a sudden now things are happening. Israel's probably just had enough of it, and they got things well in hand over there. And I love the US's reaction. I do. They're like, oh, no, no, we want peace, we want peace. There's not going to be any peace. There's never going to be any peace until those organizations are wiped out. They're gone. Then they'll maybe. But it's just it's craziness. The whole thing is crazy. Just watching the situation and how it unfolds. But like I said again, I said in the very beginning of the stream, I take my hats off to Israel. They are not the ones. I would not want Israel as my enemy. I will tell you that right now. I would not want to be. I mean, look who they've taken out recently. They've taken out high echelon people, and they're gone. So, but it's very funny to me, that, well, wait a minute. That's not fair. How can they can't do that? That's not fair. What are you talking about? When you were in a war situation, there is no fair and unfair. It's just like a fight, folks. People always used to say, well, you don't fight fair. Well, what's fair? If you want to fight me, I'm going to bite you. I'm going to pull your hair. I'm going to stick my finger in your eye. Whatever I got to do, whatever I got to do, as long as I win, that's it. And I don't get hurt. That's my thing. So, when they do this, that's not fair. And, oh, that's against this and that's against that. It's sour grapes, sour grapes. So, yeah, like I said, I think that it's awesome. I think Israel's fantastic. They're brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. And now it's like people are going, "Oh my God, they can do that." And like I said, it was set up for months. That's what they're talking about. They did this over months. It's not like some random thing that they just decided. They planned it out. Wait till they all booby trap all those pagers and stuff. Brilliant, just absolutely brilliant in my opinion. So when Israel retaliates, they make sure. Yeah, no kidding. But like I said, Delbert said, "What's fair anymore?" Yeah, exactly. There's no fair. There's no. If you win, that's fair. Here's the other thing where people got to understand: who writes the history, right? The victor writes the history. That's who writes the history. I'll tell you a quick story, okay? And this is little girl. This is World War II, just before World War II broke out. Was over in Germany visiting family. She was an American girl, and so World War II breaks out. And before we ended up getting involved, in that whole situation, this little girl was in Germany for like 2 years, and then she finally got her back to the United States. And of course, over here, Hitler was, oh, he's terrible, he's this, he's that, is the other thing. German people loved Hitler. Let's realize that, okay? The German people loved Hitler, and so this little girl, when people were saying things negatively about Adolf Hitler, what she would come back with, and just being a child, she would go, "Mr. Hitler is a good man," But when you're getting the propaganda from your country, they're going to not paint you in a bad light. They're going to paint you in a good light. So, now all of a sudden, Germany loses, and now all of a sudden, all this is bad and these are bad people and the whole 9 yards, It's just, I always find it interesting. Now, did Hitler do bad things? Of course he did. But I'm going to tell you what, folks. If you are so delusional to think that the United States didn't participate in atrocities of their own, you are sadly mistaken. But we won, right? We won. So we get to say, oh no, we were the good guys. And, you know, we dropped bombs. I want you guys to remember this, okay? Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? We dropped bombs on both of them, killing, what, 100,000 people? 100,000 people. And I think each of those spots killed over 100,000 people in each of those spots. Did we just target the military? We killed everybody. Everybody, men, women, children, babies, killed them all, right? So, you know, when people try to say, well, we're different, we're the good guys. We're not the good guys. We're not the good guys. But we win, so we get to decide what the whole protocol is. So, could the pager and phone strike have been done through Starlink? I have no idea. No idea. No idea how they did it. I'm sure they're not going to announce how they did it. You know what I mean? So Johnny Gonzalez says, hey, you're one of the first prepper channels I started watching a couple of years ago. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that, Johnny. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate that too. It's just I love how like people spin things. You look at right now, right? So we've just had another assassination attempt on Trump, and so uh, they're talking about the rhetoric and you know, calling Trump a threat, you know, in the White House. And the one news guy was talking to the chick, whatever her, I can't think of her name, but so yeah, yeah, mother of all bombs. Yeah, he used that. And then they used it because they just wanted to see what it could do. If you remember that too, JJ, they didn't need to use that, the mother of all bombs. They were just like, hey, let's see what this thing can do. We got it, let's do it. But anyway, so they're having an exchange, and he's asking her, you know, from the White House, do you think that it's smart to be using this rhetoric when, you know, calling Trump a threat when there's all these unstable people? She tries to twist it around and say, well, the way that you're asking that question, that could be conceived as a threat and blah, 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 blah. You know, always going to deflect. Always, oh, it's not our fault. You know, we're not putting these thoughts in mentally unstable people's minds. I mean, you see that guy that just did that? I mean, you know, he's no prize, you know, and he's got an arrest record and everything else, you know. Now, they can't spin it off and try to say he was right leaning because he obviously was not, you know, but you have, if you are putting stuff out there, when you have celebrities talking about take them out, who remembers? God, she was she was not a comedian. I didn't think she was that funny or good anyway. And she was holding the fake severed head of Trump, like, you know, oh, I was just trying to make a statement. You know, when you have people doing those type of things, there, like I said, we have a country with a lot of mentally unstable people. They're going to take that and go, you know, hey, we need to do something about this guy because he is, yeah, Kathy Griffin. Yes, thank you, Frank. Um, Kathy Griffin was the one that did that, and she got her butt handed to her for that one, which she should have. So, but anyway, you know, when these people do this type, I mean, you look at De Niro. De Niro's like lost his mind. I mean, he's off the rails for his hatred for Trump, you know. And again, you know what? That's great. You don't like somebody, great. Don't vote for him. Go vote for whoever you want to vote for. But you know, to get on there and they give these idiots a platform, and they can just spew their garbage. And there's people that are going to follow them. They're going to do what they say because, you know, that's my hero or whatever the case may be. I'll tell you what, De Niro was an actor. I've always loved De Niro as an actor. I thought he was a brilliant actor. As a human being, I don't care what his politics are. I don't care about any of that. Who cares? Do you shut up? Don't worry about it. It's not you. You know, I mean, and if yeah, her career is over now. Oh, it's been over. Yep, yep. Well, she did it to herself again. You know, It's just like all these people trying to push an agenda on everybody, and people go, "No, I'm not doing it." And look what happened to Budweiser. I mean, that's Bud Light, that whole thing. You have your target audience, and then you go and you piss your target audience off. That's just stupidity because of your woke agenda. And they weren't the only one. So when something is pushed on people, and you have a job with that whatever company it is, you have to you have to play ball. You have to keep your mouth shut if you want to keep your job. But what if he thought he was there to protect Trump? Did he vote for? Yeah, okay, nice try. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was there for. I'm sure that's what he was. Yeah, and I love how, like I said again, unattempted. Well, then why did he run? Why didn't he stand up and say, "No, I'm here to make sure he's safe"? I mean, that's just actually, are you left leaning, Michael, and you don't want people to actually have to think for themselves? I wonder. But I like the whole situation is just crazy. Whole situation is crazy. Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton, right? Like I said, just a couple days later, is calling him a threat again. But yeah, that guy was a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. Yeah, no kidding. So it's just like I said, the whole situation. In any of these situations, guys, and let's be really honest, will we be ever given the full truth? We will never, ever be given the full truth, ever, because they're never going to tell us what really is going on, or what the agenda is, or if there was the whole situation with the first attempt. Okay, the whole situation with the first attempt, none of that washes true with me, and that's just like I said, I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not going to tell you what I think on here because heaven forbid that you do any critical thinking with that situation. But we can't do that. You can't talk about certain events that have happened in our past and look at it from a critical point of view and say, yeah, that doesn't add up because, well, heaven forbid that you. In other news, P Diddy is in jail and looking largely finished for lots of stuff. Hopefully, it sends a message to crime, due to time. It won't, because those people are going to continue to do what they do. Hey, Asif, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Snacks for the chicks. Thank you very much. But, you know, it's just, like I said, the world is insane. The people running the ship are insane. And if you think that Biden and Harris are the ones that are really in charge, yeah, well, good luck. Keep thinking that because I highly doubt that they're the ones pulling the strings. So, what about the gourmet chef Jose Andres cooks for the Democrats? Also had a picture with the assassin in the Ukraine. I hadn't seen that, JJ. I hadn't seen that, but like I said, whatever's going to happen, folks, is going to happen. As far as that political stuff goes, they don't want him in. They know he's going to beat Harris, and that's it. I mean, they know it, and so you don't try to keep assassinating somebody that you don't think is going to win. If you think that they're going to get their butts handed to them, you let them get their butts handed to them. So craziness. But going back to the whole situation over there in the Middle East, uh, you know, they've been fighting over there for what 2,000 years, and it's never going to change. But it's just like I said, what Israel just did with the whole pager and now the handheld radios. Uh, Absolutely brilliant, brilliant move in my opinion. Like I said, now how are they going to communicate? What are they going to do? Are they going to be comfortable in communicating now? I wonder. And will Israel take advantage of this situation now that their communications are not there to do something else? Wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. And I just it's an interesting situation. Like I said, they've been fighting with Israel the entire time, just like Hamas, and so Israel's finally doing something else, and they're going, okay, that's enough of that. And like I said, I honestly could care less if you like it or don't like it. I'm giving you my opinion. You're watching my channel, so I support Israel 100%, 100%. I say, do what you got to do. Will, and they don't care. That's the best part. But of course, then you get, like I said, Bernie Sanders, and you get AOC. All we need to stop sending arms because all we're doing is supporting the genocide and all this other nonsense. They're never going to do. I would be shocked if the U.S. stopped sending arms to Israel because it's so much money. They make so much money. So these lunatic liberal left leaning people can shout and stomp their feet all they want. It's not going to change anything when there's big business involved. um yeah, you know and at the end of the day, folks, realistically, at the end of the day, follow the money. Follow the money. And if we're making money off of that situation over there while pretending like we could, oh, we're so concerned and we want it to stop and blah 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 blah. But here, Israel, here's another $5 billion worth of arms so that you can continue to do what you're doing. You know, I mean, you can't have it both ways. But they try. They play the game. And it's just a big game. But we're not going to stop. Um, you know, they're not going to stop. Israel's not going to stop, and I don't blame them. Good for them. So they're going to do what they have to do, and that's how it's going to go down. So I support Israel, but in the ancient days, would you support a bad king like Ahab? Or see, we're not going to get into semantics. I mean, what a shoulda, coulda. Would you do this or would we aren't in the ancient days. We're in right now. I live in reality, not in the past. The past is the past. You know, we're talking right now. And, with what these people do, like I said, Israel didn't start this. Let's be real super clear on this. Israel did not start this. Hamas started this. And then Hezbollah decided to join in. And both of those are backed by, Iran, as we all know. And once you had Obama send a big old pallet full of money to Iran, they released all that money. What do you think that they were going to do? What do you think that they were going to do with that money? They have an agenda. They've said the same agenda forever and a day. It's not like it's any different. Like, oh, I don't know, you know, I have no idea, what's going on. They knew that Iran wants to destroy Israel, and they use these, funneling money and weapons and everything else to these places, with Hamas and with Hezbollah. That all they are is that, and then you got all the crap over there, with the oh god, what are those ones? The ones that are like screwing around in the Gulf, shooting at ships and trying to go after ships with, we're over there with the drones and stuff like that. What was the Houthis? Yes, the Houthi rebels. They're all backed by Iran. So it's just, yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I knew who I meant, and I could picture them in my mind. I just couldn't remember what the name of them were. But again, that's another group. You know. So if we really wanted to, and see, this is what I want you to understand. Yeah, Houthi and the Blues, right? Um, Here's what I want you to understand. If we wanted it, it stops tomorrow. Realistically, if the United States of America wanted it to stop, it would stop tomorrow. Why would it stop tomorrow? Because we'd wipe them out. We would wipe them out, and that would be the end of it. Period. That would be the end of it. That would be it. But we don't. Why don't we? Because if we can keep you in fear, right? Keep that money, keep that machine rolling. We got to keep making all these weapons and bombs and guns and whatever else that we're using so that we can fight the enemy, right? it's such nonsense. We use everything at our disposal? No. So somebody that mentioned talking earlier, the mother of all bombs, we use that over in Afghanistan, and they basically said at the time that we have it. We decided to try to use it, and it's some huge bomb that was enormous, and that's what they use. So we have things that we haven't even put into play, right? So when you say, you know oh, we got to do this, or we got to, if we wanted to, guys, like I said, we could do whatever we wanted to do. You look at World War II, okay, what we did at the end of World War II with Japan. Had we wanted to at that point in time, we were the only country with nuclear capability. If we had said, we're taking over this, we're taking over that, what would anybody done about it? They couldn't have done anything, because we drop a bomb on them. End of story, right? We could have done anything we wanted to do. Now, we didn't, but we have had our fingers in a whole lot of pies, influencing a whole lot of sections of the world, because that's the way we do it. We do it backdoor, and that's, look at it, with the CIA and everything else, and all those different little plots and stuff. And if we don't like somebody who's in power, we make sure they're gone. That's just a fact. That's just what we do. So, but anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about too. The media. I don't know if you saw this or not. The media now is trying to spin it, right? Not the fact that the White House itself, that celebrities all over the place have been called. Well, the White House hasn't called for him to be taken out, or I don't. The term, they like to use the term. Well, he's a threat. He's a threat to democracy, and blah 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 blah. But you've actually had, celebrities say, take him out, right? So now the media is trying to spin it that Trump has brought this upon himself. It's his rhetoric that's causing this. And I'm like, are you serious? You know what? Here's what I have noticed. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but this is something that I noticed. Now, I'm not a fan of Biden. I've never been a fan of Biden. I've never been a fan of Harris. Okay. I have never one time ever called for them to be taken out, and I never would, because I don't think that's the way that you should do those type of things. But there's been no assassination attempt on either one of them, and now we have a second one on Trump, and they blow it off like it's nothing. They're trying to blow it off like it's nothing. I mean, even the first one, they tried to spin that in a different way, So, it just, the rhetoric is, when you put it out there, and again, as I said earlier in the stream, and you have mentally disturbed people out there that will take that and they'll say, well, if I could have gone back in World War II and taken Trump, or I mean, taken out Hitler, taken out Hitler before he came to power, a lot of people would say, yes, I would do that. I'm sure they would, right? So again, people are going, well, if I take this guy out, he's a threat and he's a danger, then I'll be like a hero. And I'm sure there would be people that would be delighted if that happened, So you look at the band Tenacious D, and he was getting his birthday cake on stage, and he blew it out and he said, "What is his wish?" And he says, "Don't miss next time." You know what I mean? I mean, that's that doesn't help anything. At the bottom line is they're full of yes, they are, JJ. You know, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff, that's now come out that's gone on in Hollywood, with the sexual predators and underage, girls and boys, and you know, now finally they're doing something about it. But I can remember, all those pictures of Harvey Weinstein with all of these celebrities with their arms around him, like he was the greatest thing since sliced toast because he had the power. Power is a very interesting thing, and some people will obviously abuse that power. You know, Look at Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey is a great example, right? You know, when it came out that he was screwing around with underage boys, okay, and then he comes out and says, "Well, I'm gay." Well, good for you. Who cares? But certain things you can't do. You can be gay all day long, but you got to be careful of what you do and who you're doing it with. So, like I said, I don't care what two consenting adults do. If they want to lather themselves up in oil and beat themselves with rubber chickens, hey, who am I to say anything? It's not my business. Not my thing, but not my business. You know what I mean? But it's just when there's kids involved, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's my thing, Sandwich said. You got your rubber ducky, Sandwich, buying baby oil by the case. Uh, I'm eating here. That's funny. Uh, I'm in court this morning because of a sexual predator. They can't be rehabbed. No, they can't be. Well, actually, yes, they can be, Lamb's Light. It's called a 22, right back here, one time. And that, I guarantee you, 100% without any doubt, that they will never do it again. Simple as that. Well, you want it to bounce around in there, Will Parker. That's why I use a 22. Because once it goes in, it'll bounce around. And that's what you're looking for. So that's my take. There's one cure for them, and that's it. No rehabilitation, no classes, no second chances. Yeah, it just we live in a amazing to me. It's just absolutely amazing. I want you to think about this. Let's talk about this one for an example. All these drugs that come across the southern border. You have, fentanyl, cocaine, all that stuff. If there wasn't a demand for it and people weren't going to use it no matter what anyway, it wouldn't be here. And it's allowed to come in. That is a fact, because it's here, and why is it? You could stop that if you really wanted to. Go down to those countries where they got the labs, wipe them out. Here's a weird thought. We had control in Afghanistan for 20 years, but heroin was still rampant in the United States, wasn't it? I wonder if we had gone over to, and they're a huge, it's a $200 million a year business. If we had gone over and burned all those fields and wouldn't let them grow anymore, I wonder if that would have really slowed down the heroin coming into the United States. I bet it would have. I'll bet it would have. But whenever there's money to be made and it's big business, those things are going to happen. Fentanyl ain't heroin; it's synthetic. Well, no, I know it's not heroin. I'm just saying, but with the fentanyl, it's being manufactured and made and brought in, is what I'm saying. And a lot of it comes through the southern border. So you're never going to stop those type of things altogether until you do what China does. When you're still not going to stop it, but people are going to be much more cautious of what they do. In China, if they catch you as a drug dealer, or if you're peddling, they'll cut your head off. That's it. End of story. So there's a lot of underhanded, dirty stuff that goes on. It really is. During the time we were in Afghanistan, opiates were being prescribed like aspirin. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look with big pharma, and then they do these settlements, where they give so much to each state, and oh look, we've done our job, we've stopped this, but how at what cost? Those companies should be no more. How about that? No longer able to be in business. Period. They made billions, billions and billions of dollars. Doctors were pushing this stuff. They were all, telling us that it was safe and it was okay, when it wasn't, and it was highly addictive, and it destroyed so many families, which is a shame. It's a shame. Moms died, dads died, or if they didn't die, their whole focus was on the drug and getting more, and they didn't care about their families, and so who suffers? And the kids suffer. Just sad. The whole opiate situation never needed to happen. That's just I'm just giving you my opinion, but I don't feel like it could, if they had done the right thing. When you knowingly put something in the market that you know is going to do harm, and no, did any of them go to jail? That's a question, right? Opioids is now why I'm a single mom of three after a 15-year marriage. I'm sorry to hear that, Rachel, but yeah, that happens a lot. Because of opiates. I was a single father raising two kids, so trust me, I have my issues with them just as much. I really do. So, but it just, my kids were more important than anything else, and that's why I made sure that my kids were squared away. But it's you think big business gives a crap? You think they care? They don't care. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. So, and watching people destroy their lives, when you have a front row seat and get to watch it, it's tough. I'm going to tell you what, especially when it's somebody that you love and that you care about. It's hard. It's hard to watch that, and knowing that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. I've said this before, guys. I'll say this again. When it comes to addiction, okay, be it alcohol, be it drugs, whatever the case may be, the only way that the person is ever going to stop is when they want to. When they want to. Otherwise, it's never. You could send them to rehab a million times. You know, send them a million times, and they'll go right back out and they'll do it all over again because they don't want to stop. So and when people go, oh well, it's a disease. Bull crap. I'm sorry. I never bought that crap in a million years. I was an emergency room nurse, my wife an ICU nurse, 40 years. Everything now is addiction and psych. There's no going back. We are done. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. But alcohol and drugs, it's not a disease. I get so sick and tired of people. They're making excuses for their behavior. That's all it is. They're making excuses for the behavior. Stop doing it. There you go. I'm going to tell you what, folks. I mean, I've been very honest with my life and what I've done, and I always tell people I pulled my head out of my behind at 27, because at 27 years old, I looked at myself and I didn't like what I saw and what I was doing, and I made changes. And you know why I made changes? Because I wanted to. When people said to me, "Well, how did you stop using drugs?" I said, "I just stopped." I said, "That's it. No more. No, I'm done." Simple. It's a weird concept, I know, right? But everybody wants to make an excuse. No personal accountability, or responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault. I'm a victim because of this or because of that. No, you're doing what you're doing because you want to. Period. End of story. So that's one of my things. I saw. The drug seeking. Oh my God, being in nursing, and the drug seeking is just incredible. It's incredible watching these people. If they have a PRN, which is as needed, a PRN is so like you're on a scheduled, for pain medication. Let's say for whatever your alleged pain is, you're on a schedule for this pain medication, and then they also have a PRN, which is as needed. So like if you get XYZ pain med every 8 hours, but they say you can get a little bit more every 4. Man, these people, they would be on that light, pushing that light. It's 4 hours. I want my pill. Give me my pill. I need my pain pill. Make me sick. Made me sick. And then you got other people that would do everything that they could not to take their pain medication, and they would be in pain. And you'd be like, well, Mrs. Smith or Mrs. Johnson, you need to take a little bit of this. It's going to help. but they're so afraid of that addiction that they won't do it. So I don't know. Like I said, the whole situation is insane. I got something in my eye, but that's just the way it is. Most healthcare providers now have PTSD and CPTSD. The only vice we use is booze. Yeah, PRN with a DNR. Haha. Yeah, right. PRN, exactly. With a DNR. DNRs do not resuscitate, for those of you that don't know what that means. So, but anyway, Ed, they're going to blame YouTube. Breaking news: Kentucky police believe found the body by YouTube live streamers of I-75 gunman. I figured that was going to find they were going to find a body after this amount of time with him not being caught. I figured he had offed himself. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, let's go ahead and do the egg count. But before we do, I'm not starting it yet, so please don't put your guesses in yet. We're at 314 in the chat. We're at 223 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It also really makes a big difference with the algorithm, so I thank you for that reason as well. It's weird. I got something in my eye. Feels like it anyway. And also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for that. Okay. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Betty White? Go ahead and do it now. Give you guys a moment to get from there. Give you guys just another moment. All right. If you had the same exact guess as Daniel Fortier, I've probably butchered the last name and I apologize. 3 eggs today. And yes, DJ, you were about third of the correct guess on there today. So you were a little lacking. But yeah, Daniel Fortier is the winner. So congratulations to Daniel. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. So that's a good thing. But anyway, guys, a lot of craziness obviously going on. Very unstable situations all around the world that could pop off. We need to be very vigilant and take care of what we need to take care of. Take care of your families. Put yourselves in situations where you are going to win because it is a game. Remember that it is a game. And, you know, giving yourself 2 weeks worth of food and water gives you an advantage over 93% of the people in this country. Why would you not do at least that? Why would you not do at least that? You know, that's the way I look at it. Um, so just be smart. Take care of your families. Look at your children. Um, my biggest thing was, like I said, Hurricane Katrina happened back in 2005. And man, I just was like, we cannot count on the government. Can't do it. So it's time to do something about it. And that's how I got started. My kids at the time, the twins were, in 2005, the twins were 4. Josh was 10, and I had a stay at home wife. So that's what got me started. And, you just got to be smart, be ready when the time comes, and react. Or I should say act, not react, because everybody else is going to be reacting. We want to be in a situation where we are acting because we know exactly what we need to do. We know exactly where we need to be, take care of our business. And if we do that, we're going to be in a lot better shape. So, but, you know, I have been I was off today. I had things that I had to do. I picked up more preps today myself. You know, just steady, 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 and we're just being as ready as we can be. When the time comes, okay, here we are. This is it. Now we gotta deal. So get yourselves in positions also where you're not taking a tremendous amount of medications, health wise. We have way too many people dependent on medications that are out there. So it's just if you can, if you're so overweight and they got you on this med, that med, and the other med, do something about it. Already started practicing cold showers by candlelight. There you go. Why does it have to be cold showers? It doesn't have to be cold. Warm it up on a wood stove. Warm it up on a fire pit outside. You don't have to give up all that creature comforts. But no, but like I said, if you're taking care of your stuff, you're going to be okay. Do you think there will be a NATO or Russia war? Hard to say. It really is hard to say because we're going to jump in on that situation. If it was just Russia, NATO could probably beat Russia. But if you start throwing in China jumping in on there, that makes it a whole different kettle of fish. And I just think that they both sides realize that it's a lose-lose situation. So I really don't believe we'll see a NATO versus Russia war. NATO wants control, obviously. You know, hey Ed, I have warmed up a wash tub of water out in the sun. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that either, Delbert. So yeah, I'd rather take a warmer shower than a cold shower. So depends on what time of year though. If it's summertime, let me take that cold shower. I like that then. Just give me a 5-gallon bucket of water, and I'm good. But it's something you got to get used to. And that would be the other thing that I would highly recommend to people. Uh, Take a weekend. You know, um, Turn your power off. Turn your electronic devices off. Been watching you for years. I lived in Rochester as a kid, and I now live in Israel. All the smart communities have made Minutemen militias and got issued rifles. My suggestion to everyone: stock up and band together. Key to victory. Thank you so much, Tomer. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation as well. And I'm glad you guys are doing that over there now. That's awesome because you can't get caught with your pants down again like they did last time. That's so absolutely awesome that you guys are doing that. And the thing that is the key is working together. Absolutely, the key is working together. So thank you so much for the statement, and again, thank you for the donation. Yeah, Rochester. Yeah, grew up in Rochester myself. Obviously, talked about that quite a bit. Lived in Rochester for years when I was older. Well, I didn't grow up there as a kid, but I grew up in the Rochester area. So, but as an adult, I spent many years living in the city. But yeah, like I said, guys, we got to work together. That's the key. I've talked about it, and I'm blue in the face, and I'll say it again. Get groups together, get like-minded people together. If you can do that, you know, you can really get a lot accomplished if you have, like I say, a lot of people working together. You've seen what we've done here. I mean, this is a great example of people coming together and working together. This is a great example of that. And, we've done great. It's been a incredible experience. It's been a learning experience, I will tell you that, you know, but it's been amazing. And we've come such a long way. We got a long way to go. That's a fact. We got a long way to go, but we'll get there. And but as long as everybody is doing their part, and it's a team effort, that's the key. So that is the key. But like I said, I'm always going to encourage you guys to continue to prep, do what you can, even if it's on a small scale, guys. Doing something as opposed to nothing is going to make it better in the long run. Sonia says my in-laws lived in Rochester. Yeah, my grandparents grew up in Rochester. They had they had a house in an area that at that time, at one time, was a nice area. Not anymore. you know, but it just then they got to a point where they moved out to Scottsville, New York, because the city was progressively getting worse, and they wanted to be away from it, and that's when property out in Scottsville, and they had that until my grandfather died, and so they were out there, God, 30 plus years. My whole childhood, you know, we always went to Grandma and Grandpa's. I mean, even as a young adult, I lived there for a while. So a lot of good memories. A lot of good memories. YouTube is blocking my super chat due to content. Really? How weird is that? Well, it came through now, Asif. So I have no. That's weird. Why would they block it due to content? That doesn't make any sense. Alex says, "Well said, Ed. We don't know when SHTF is going to happen. No idea. No idea. Thank you so much, Asif, again, though, for the donation. I do appreciate that. We have no idea. We just have to take care of our business, and that's the key. Take care of your families. Prepare the best way that you possibly can. Um, what is your take on Springfield, Ohio? Ah, oh, he probably tried to post something they didn't like. Okie Ford said, maybe that could have been it. That could have been it. What do you mean with Springfield, Ohio? What do you want? What are you asking me? I'm not sure what you're asking. But anyway, folks, like I said, be ready, be vigilant, pay attention, be situationally aware of what's going on around you at all times. Uh, you know, oh, the Haitian stuff, is that what the Haitians? It's like they're trying because they're trying to discount that so much. Tells me in my own thing that it probably was a true thing that happened, but of course they don't want that out there because it's a bad light for what they want. You know, in Haiti, do they eat dogs and cats and stuff like that? They sure do. So, stop them from doing the same thing here? Probably not. They probably consider it free food. So would it shock me? It wouldn't shock me. I don't. I can't sit here and say yes, it absolutely happened. I can't say that because I don't know. I wasn't there. But from what's being said, it looks like that was the case. So if that's the case, I mean, it's a tough thing. So yeah, so there's a lot of hearsay and woulda, shoulda, coulda, and who knows if like I said, I don't know if it's happening or not. Nothing surprises me. I'll be honest with you anymore, guys. Um, and now they got the Jamaicans in New York City doing the same thing. JJ is saying, yeah, I don't know. There she is. There's the princess. I knew she would probably make an appearance at some point. She's got to come in and say hello, my child. She's been good though. She's been a good dog. She's learning we don't run off. Right? Running off is bad. Is it bad? Give me a kiss. Thank you. Good girl. So, anyway, guys, so like I said, just take care of your business. Do the best you can. Be as ready as you can. If you can team up with friends and family, have conversations. Band together, work on things, and it's going to make a difference. Because, like I said again, when the time comes, you're going to be part of a group. Guarantee it. What kind of group you want to be in? You know what I mean? So somebody said the girl in the police body cam video was a local mental patient. I have no idea. No idea. So anyway, guys, I am going to jump off of here for now. Again, please continue to prep. Please continue to get ready. Uh, I'll say it again. Hats off to Israel. I think they're amazing. They are not a country I would want to screw with. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and they need to keep doing it. So finish up, clean up the garbage, get rid of it. That's it. All right. Be safe. Keep prepping. I will talk to you all later. Preppers one out for now.